Hello guys, I got bored, so I'm gonna do an ASMR audio until my parents interrupt me or I get bored again. I don't. So, what I mean by ASMR audios is that I usually like to voice different characters from different parodies, and I like to put that into ship audios. I would love it if one of you would comment on one of my videos and tell me what kind of character you'd like me to voice, and I'll see if I can do it or not. I'll even research the character if I don't know them. All I know is that I'm not able to voice anyone from South Park, so don't try that stuff. And there are certain characters I'm not able to voice from the Amazing Digital Circus, but I will tell you, for all those Jax Simps and those Pomni Simps and stuff like that, I am able to voice both Jax and Pomni. I'm able to Joyce voice characters from My Hero Academia, and I'm sorry for such a long intro. Anyways, um, on to the video, I guess. You are a new farmer, recently moved into Garden View. I say farmer because you are a new worker that comes to tend to the garden and is even growing small crops in the windowsill. Somehow your avocado plant is still surviving. You've already met most of the toons, yet only one of them stands out to you, Sprout. He's the only food toon that's actually a vegetable or a fruit. And he's really sweet to you for some reason. Whenever you come back from making sure the toons don't die in the middle of a run, he'll always offer you food or water. He always sticks nearby, especially when it's Meet the Toon time. Meet the Toon time is where all the toons gather up into the front area and talk to the children. The children are usually really nice, but there's every once in a while where there's a troublemaker who just won't leave the toons alone. And for that, that's Brady. You see, you are still going to high school. You are about 18 years old, sorry. You are about 18 years old and are slowly looking for apartments after your convenience store job gives you one last raise. So you see, you had given them a 2 weeks notice before, and since you were so loved there, people wanted to throw a goodbye party for you. Brady, on the other hand, was this guy who had a crush on you and knew you also did a side gig at Garden View. Because of how obsessed he was with you, he refused to let you go and refused to acknowledge the fact that you didn't like him. So Brady would bully the other toons and try to tell them dumb things to convince them to get you to fall in love with him. It was a big problem for you and the toons because the toons didn't know him. He was this random guy that just wouldn't leave them alone for some reason, and he wasn't exactly the nicest to the toons. You kept having to kick him out. You wouldn't ban him because that's not the kind of person you are, and also you'd have to go through an entire conference with Delilah if you wanted to ban one of their valuable customers. You see, Brady comes to the Garden View at 6 a.m. every single day to help out with work. Once he's at work, he immediately starts bothering the toons about you and won't stop asking Sprout for information since he hangs around you the most. There's one problem with this. Sprout doesn't like Brady to the point of refusing to serve him at all. He knows that Brady's been a real creep to you ever since you first came to Garden View, and so he tries to avoid Brady's gaze as much as he can. One day you are silently sitting under a tree in Garden View, taking care of your little garden per usual. Only problem is Brady was finally coming in to bother the toons again at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You really weren't in the mood for this. You had had a bad day, and almost all of the toons in the run were dying because as you were running away from a pebble most of the time because for some reason Pebble kept spawning on even the first floor just to annoy you. After a while, you were finally fed up and threw your clothes on the floor while you got to your house. You see, all the toons were given a phone in case of emergencies, but somehow Sprout had broken into Delilah's office and grabbed his. He texts you, "Hey, are you okay? That run was kind of hard, and I can tell you were really stressed after all that." You blushed. Sprout was really, really nice to you, and you didn't entirely understand it, but now that you think about it, maybe he was flirting with you, maybe he was just trying to be nice, but who knows what his real intentions were. You text back, "Yeah, I'm okay," and Sprout immediately texts, "Hey, next time you head to Garden View, do you think you could help me clean up my room? It's been an awful mess ever since Cosmo started to become a little bit more independent and not need me as much anymore. I guess I'm just kind of getting depression from it, finding out that my best friend might not need me anymore after a while." Well, haha. That was kind of sad because you had also had a best friend that was extremely dependent on you. Yet the second they became independent, they didn't care anymore and just left you to be on your own. You text back, "Of course I can help you, Sprout. What's been going on?" After a little bit of trauma dumping between you and Sprout, you realize you might be catching feelings for something that probably can't feel. You see, you don't know how the tunes are made. All you know is that their design is chose through process of elimination. Goop the Fluffy Craft had three different designs. Two of them were voted upon among the employees, and most of them voted for the one where he has long, stretchy arms. Therefore, that is his design currently. Sprout's process of elimination started off with a kiwi. Both me and you don't know how the heck it started off with a kiwi. Anyways, Sprout had given you a dragon pendant and a bunch of cupcakes that you forgot to eat, and the dragon pendant hung above your wall on your bed. Hung above your bed on your wall. Gosh. Anyways, you head to Garden View the next day and help Sprout clean up his room. There's crumbs everywhere, plates on the floor, and you can tell he went through a rough patch. He smiles at you, thanking you for what's been going on, thanking you for helping him, and apologizing for all that stuff he'd dumped on you the night before. You tell him that you really don't mind, and hang on, I gotta fix the camera. Anyways, sorry about that. He's written a couple poetic poems for you. You don't entirely know what they mean since he mostly uses French words. He's been studying French a lot recently, and has also been studying sign language so that he can understand deaf kids. Since a lot of kids with disabilities come into the Garden View, you've already been teaching him quite a bit about sign language. And he knows you have this problem where if somebody gags, you start gagging as well. You feel like you're about to puke. I don't entirely know what this is called. You've already texted him about. But would you please mind being careful when it comes to my gagging problem? He asked. This was a while back when you had first started to get used to Sprout being around you. He asked what the gagging problem was, and you explained that when people gagged nearby you, you felt sick and like you were going to gag too, so you gagged. He made sure to be careful around it and knew that Brady just loved to gag when he was around you, thinking that was going to get you into caving in. He said, "I'll only stop gagging when you become my girlfriend." One day, Brady actually put his hands on you. He grabbed you when you rejected him for the 20th time, and Sprout wasn't standing that. He broke a nearby bottle and stabbed Brady with it. After a lecture with Delilah and a few pats on the head, give me a second. Sorry. And a few pats on the head, Delilah finally let him go. That was the first time Sprout will ever and has ever stood up for you. You stare down at this small strawberry that is smaller than a 5-year-old and start giggling. He gets angry and says that recently Delilah's been talking about upping their size to at least an adult size. For boys, they would be the size of an average adult male, and for girls, they'd be the size of an average adult female, except for Toodles, who would be the size of an average 8-year-old. You chuckle at the thought of him being taller than you, pat him on the head and said, "Maybe I like small Sprout." He blushes and immediately runs away. You realize that maybe the feeling is more than mutual. As you walk away, you can hear him mumbling to himself. You can't catch all of the words, but you can hear the word love mixed into all of that. You wonder, what exactly does he mean by that? But you don't question it. You'd never question it. Not when there's a strawberry smaller than a 5-year-old looking up at you and blushing, being stuck in your mind for the rest of the night. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say, because I don't like anything else except for fluff. Anyways, bye.